Okay, so I know that I said I wouldn't record anywhere past the finale, and I didn't have any intention to until I finally came to this spot in the game. Now, after you beat the game, you get access to three different areas. The first area is Mushroom Kingdom, and depending on how many power moons you have, you can get access to Dark Side, which is the dark side of the moon. And then finally, when you get 500 moons, you get access to Darker Side. Yeah, the name's kind of silly, but uh, this part here, getting to this part isn't tough. But Darker Side, it does not mess around. This place is a nightmare. I actually threw my controller out of frustration, which I've only thrown my controller out of frustration to one game prior to this, Mighty Number 9. Let that sink in, as the second game that's made me throw my controller is Super Mario Odyssey, a game that I praised and even was like, hey, this game is better than SM64. The game's easy in comparison. Like, the game's relatively easy just getting up to this part. Like, even the final boss and stuff, even Darkside's not too tough. But this place does not mess around. So the exterior is much like Honeyloon Ridge for the moon, and even for Darkside, it's still the moon. But this pipe, no, this pipe is terrible. And I've tried this about 5 or 6 times, and I have not beaten it. But I'm going to record this, just because I wanted to, and it's incredibly frustrating. So, it doesn't look too bad at first. This is your first obstacle. And only this part right here is only necessary if you do not have an amiibo to immediately get a life up heart, which gives you the extra 3 hits. If you notice the top right of the screen, I have 6 life hearts. Yeah, so the Peach amiibo pretty much, means that you don't need to do this. And ultimately, the hardest thing about this is not running out of health. I mean, it can be, especially if you don't have an amiibo to provide health with. But it is... Well, the hard part, I'll even show you, because hopefully I'll get to there. Excuse me. Hopefully I'll get to there. The hard part itself. But I'm going to tell you right now, the reason why this place is hard is if you slip up even once, you're finished. There are no checkpoints. Like, none at all. So let's say you make it about 15 minutes in, and you die. Guess what? Oh, no! Okay. Guess what? You have to restart from the very beginning. And Darker Side is long. Like, it is absurdly long. It is definitely the hard part about Super Mario Odyssey. Like, there are Mario games that have, like, really hard courses. With the exception of, like, Super Mario 64 and Sunshine, I think. There aren't really that many hard places. Like, in comparison, SM64, when compared to SMO, which is what I'm calling this because I don't want to say that full name all the time, as a whole, SM64 is more difficult. It isn't harder. Like, the games aren't hard. And I would say because they're Mario games. That's fairly accurate to say. SM64 is more difficult than SMO as a whole. And I think that's partially why, aside from it being, like, on, at that time, newer technology, and it was a little bit more limiting and stuff, they didn't really, like, it was still new to the system. Like, the system in N64 was still new at the time. So they did what they could at that time. Whereas SMO came out, let's see, October, the Switch released in March. So they had plenty of time to figure out what the limitations were for the Switch. Anyway, going back to the difficulty, SM64 didn't really have any difficult levels necessarily, like no difficult end levels, which a lot of Mario games, if not most of them, have end game levels like that are absurdly tough or just really challenging as far as platforming is concerned. And SM64 does not have that. Super Mario Odyssey was a return to form in some ways. Oh no. As far as that's concerned. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. I'm already messing up. So yeah. So it was really weird because, like, I had heard that, like, oh, you can refight the bosses. and that there's a difficult part at the end. Like, I was like, well, it can't be that tough. I mean, this game is relatively easy. I'd say it's the easiest Mario game. Which is, I guess, partially why it's so good. Because it's so easy just to pick up. Like, it's a really casual Mario game, and there is nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. That's why it's just so good. It's not as hardcore as SM64, but it definitely harkens back to SM64 more than Sunshine does. Whoopsie, I'm messing up again. What was I saying? Anyway, so as far as difficulty is concerned, Super Mario Odyssey is not tough. It is relatively easy. Except for this part. Darker Side is a mess. Oh yeah, really quick. Let me see if I can zoom in. Take a look at... Okay, I can't show you right now. I'll show you in a second, though. Give me a second. Ugh, it's so cold. Okay, as soon as I defrost. Take a look at this. You are not looking at this wrong. This is Mario from Super Mario 64. Look at those rough polygons in high definition. It's a pretty cool costume. So yeah. And opening parts are easy. Like, I say easy as in, like, I've done them so much at this point, it's more like it's just kind of, I've memorized it in a way. Like, this is relatively easy. Whoopsie. It's just easy to make some small mistakes. Where the game really gets hard, though, is at the... It's a sky area, where it's just clouds. Like, there's nothing to fall back on, no lava, no nothing. And this part's pretty cool. So, those things right there, if you remember from, I think an early part in Super Mario Odyssey, it was in the Sand Kingdom, in the icy under area. You could hit those and they'd create shockwaves. And, like, they destroy blocks and stuff. But with Yoshi, you don't even need to do that at all. You can completely alleviate the problem. You don't need to hit those at all. Which stops a lot of damage completely. Alright, we're going to get rid of Yoshi here because we cannot use him. So this part right here, it's more... it's not as hard as it looks. It's really just like... It's more trial and error. Alright, and then... Jump, jump. Nope, nope, nope. Oh boy. Okay, we got burn ourselves to recovery. Okay, so I made a slight error there. And it's been, I think I took about a day or two break from doing this. And again, I wasn't planning on, like, recording this to begin with. I wanted to do this on my own, but I realized how much of a frustration this level actually is. And I was like, you know what? Might as well give, like, a final episode on Mario Odyssey. I mean, just because I wanted to. I thought it'd be nice. Nice and relaxing. And who knows, maybe I can actually beat this thing on camera. Or, you know, on recording, whatever. Alright, so here's... Oopsie, I messed up. No! Why'd I do that? I hesitated for a second. And that was actually the last part of that section. Like, after that, it was just... I was gonna roll. Like, just roll to pick up some speed. And I didn't even need to. If I didn't try to roll, I could have made it to safety just fine. But I wanted to. But that was the end of it. Of that section right there. But yeah, like I said, most of this is just trial and error. Like, just memorizing some stuff. Which, I mean, isn't bad. There are worse ways to handle tough areas. And I actually kind of appreciate that it is more trial, error, kind of memorization. And I will say, thank goodness for crazy accurate controls for Mario. Alright, give me my cap. Here we go. This part's easy. It looks more tough than it is. Pretty much you just hold B, ride the gusts of air, and you're good. Even if you take damage... Again, if you have the Peach Amiibo, or any Peach Amiibo really, you'll be fine. You can regenerate your health. Which, the beginning parts of Darker Side, like, until you get to the Sky area, the main thing about Darker Side, the reason why it's so hard is, it can deal a lot of damage without any recovery hearts. Like, there is there are two life up parts in the beginning. There's one with that hatch ship at the very beginning of Darker Side. And then there was a Sphinx I passed by that also is hiding a life up heart. But again, with the Peach Amiibo, you don't need it. You can recover your health immediately. Now, here's where it's going to get ridiculous. So, okay. And line up the shot. Whammo! That was pretty much flawless. Now, here's where it's going to get tough. If you see this warp pipe here, we're going to be transported to a sky area. Now, this part here, it has the things that hit it, and it creates shockwaves. Now, the best thing to do is to not hit the spiky mechanism here. If you do, you're gonna regret it, because it does not destroy the blocks there at all. Those are moon rocks, which cannot be destroyed by these shockwave machines, and they seem like they could be useful. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretty much cheat this off a little bit. Use the Mario Amiibo, which makes me invincible for pretty much the whole time. That way I can keep hitting this. I'll still take knockback, but I won't take any real damage. And it's useful for getting rid of these... I don't know what you call these things, actually. I think these originated in Super Mario 3D Land for the Nintendo 3DS. I think it's when they first appeared. But I don't know what they're called. Anyway, these are for taking out these creatures when they jump on the floating moon rock. But again, this is only really useful if you have invincibility. Okay, so now I'm taking damage. But I can immediately, you know, take care of that. Alright, that was a little bit more risky than what I normally would do, but I wanted to make sure I made it. Now, here... Ouchie, why'd I do that? Now, right here, this section right here is what I could never get past. There's a floating block here, and okay, I can't control the camera very much, but you notice that the blocks here are swinging across each other, and eventually I'm gonna have to get up there. Now, I don't know where Darker Side ends. I'm hoping it's right around here is where it ends, but I honestly have no clue. Okay. Okay. Alright, so it looks like we have... Is that Donkey Kong? Hey, DK! Okay, so I've officially made it past where I was stuck last time. I'm hoping that I do not die. In fact, by all means, I really shouldn't die at all, because this right here will just be damage-based. If I... Yeah, I say if I take damage. More like I will take damage. Oh boy, weird controls. Okay. Boink. Whoopsie. Let me turn the camera a bit. Okay. More accurate controls. Get out of here, DK! Okay. Again, I don't know where Darker Side ends, but I'm hoping this is it. What? Oh, well, well, well. It's a portrait. I'm going to... Okay, what are we doing here? Whoa! That's like Super Mario 64 style! Where you jump directly into a painting. Oh, sweet, I'm back to playing as Bowser. But why? So is it just gonna replay? No, this is a different... This is different from the ending to Mario Odyssey. Yeah, they... Get out of here. I said get out of here. Ouchie. Technically, I could just tank the damage. But I don't need to, necessarily. Again, having Amiibo really does kind of... what's we're looking for? It makes Mario privileged, pretty much. You don't... Like, any real problems are immediately solved as far as damage is concerned. What with the Peach Amiibo and with Mario being... With the Mario Amiibo giving you invincibility. The only problem I have with Mario's invincibility is that you do take knockback, and it isn't invincible in all areas. Like, if you touch lava, you will take damage. Or if you get poison, you're gonna pretty much die. And stuff like that. Like, you'll still take damage with certain aspects. Alright, how much longer? Like, I'm not, like, concerned. This video is probably a bit longer than any normal video. I honestly don't know how far I've been playing, or what the time is. But, well, okay, what's with this perspective? Okay. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be doing. Oh! It's saying thank you! Or thanks. Oh, I gotta go back. Hold on, I gotta go back if I missed anything. Okay, I didn't. Okay, I think I'm at the end of this, guys. I think. Or I'm very close at the very least. Guys, there's no enemies. Doesn't look like I can fall off and die. Ah, I suppose thank you. That is crazy. Guys, I think we've reached Long Journey's End. I think we've beaten Darker Side. We have. Guys, we've beaten Darker Side. It's crazy, I didn't... Long Journey's End. It's crazy, because again, I didn't, like... That was pretty... As far as death is concerned and restarting, like, for me, a flawless run for that... I mean, flawless is actually flawless. We don't take any damage. Don't get me wrong. So, by that means, I did not do a flawless run. But for me, a flawless run of that is where you don't restart from the very beginning. Because that can be really just... It can break your spirit. To go so far and then to just immediately lose all progress. Having to restart. You've come a long way, you and me. That's crazy. Because I you know, it's funny. I thought I would at least have to restart 2 or 3 times while recording this. Just because, like, it was so tough when I tried playing this before. Wait, is that never ending? Oh, that is never ending. Alright, I'm gonna let this spawn itself then. Okay, it was never ending. Anyway, but again, I was sure that I would have to restart at least once or twice while recording this. That's Princess Rosalina! That's cool. Oh, I keep losing track of what I'm saying. I mean, I'm just repeating myself, I know. But like I said, I'm just surprised that I didn't have to restart at all. That when recording it, I was able to do this pretty much without any real hiccups. Which I'm very glad that was the case. Oh, it's just crazy. I was like, oh, this would be a really good episode for me to have a rage fit on. But I didn't. It's just crazy to think that, you know... I was like, oh, we've seen a bunch of different kingdoms. I mean, sure, we got shot down and stuff along the way. Yeah, twice. But think of all the hats. Yeah, there were a lot of hats. We're gonna do it. We're gonna reach the top. Eventually. This trip was really amazing. Thank you, Mario. It's been an honor walking a mile on your head. Yeah. That's it. The final grand moon of the game. You got a multi-moon. Long Journey's End. And look at that. It's right before 2018 hits. You know, what a way to end 2017. And the only thing is... Well, you got the invincibility hat. I was gonna say, why can't I see myself? Okay, I'm invincible now. Anyway, what a way to end 2017. By getting the final multi-moon of the game. By beating Darker Side. It's crazy. It really is. You know, I really enjoyed this time. You know, and it's kind of funny. I get to... I'm gonna just talk for a while, I suppose. Because I just want to. It's been crazy as far as my channel for 2017. Not just... I don't mean like, oh, I have so many subscribers. No, that's not what I'm saying. But it's been crazy because, you know, my channel has had fluctuating schedules as far as uploads have been. It had been pretty consistent in October and November. December had a weird hiccup. Right before Christmas struck, I had this weird thing where the Wi-Fi went out again, where the internet went out, and then I had an issue trying to upload Sonic Mania, and that it was a Knuckles and Knuckles run with Marissa Blackwing. It's about 2.5 hours long or so. It never got uploaded because like it actually got it crashed uploading about 45%, and the file is really big. It was taking about maybe 2 or 3 days for it to actually get uploaded and then published. That's how big the file was and how long it would take. And then it just crashed. And I was like, well, that's great. But it was good, though, because I got to take some time off, in a sense. Take some time for myself. Just to, you know, take a step back, spend time with my friends on Christmas. And just play some video games on my own. Like, I put a lot of time into Super Mario Odyssey just on its own. Like, after I stopped recording, I put a lot of time into grinding and stuff, and it was really fun. Like, Super Mario Odyssey is probably one of the best games that has ever come out. But especially for 2017, it's probably my #1. Yeah, this game beat Sonic... Excuse me, not Sonic. Why did I even say that? Well, this game did beat Sonic Mania. This game also beat Breath of the Wild, which, you know, me, Zelda Maniac 1994, I love The Legend of Zelda. You know, from the small games like Triforce Heroes and Zelda 2, to the big ones like Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess, Breath of the Wild. And, you know, whenever this comes out, I don't know whether this will be before or after my review for Breath of the Wild. But if for some reason this comes out beforehand, the review, I'll have it out on March 3rd of 2018. And that'll be Breath of the Wild's 1-year anniversary since, it, you know, when it came out. It was March 3rd. And, you know, I have my own issues with the game, but as far as this game is concerned, Super Mario Odyssey, it's a masterpiece. It really set, you know, the bar for what a 3D platformer should be. You know, in current age, I mean. Like, not saying like, oh, the 3D platformers of yesteryear should have been just like this game. They couldn't have been. I mean, first of all, this is Nintendo. It has that Nintendo polish. So, for any game to be like this would be pretty much impossible to ask for. But especially like on stuff with older hardware, like, oh, Super Mario 64 is good, but it's not as good as Super Mario Odyssey, and it should have been better than what it was, but it isn't. No, that's not the right way to think. But, you know, like for today's standards, this is what a 3D platformer should be. A game where it takes you by the hand, takes you on a long, crazy journey, having fun along the way, and maybe getting shot down a few times. You know, but, oh goodness, I love this game. And I do plan on 100% completing it. Which, there are a few games that aren't Zelda that I want to try and 100% complete. The only two other games I can really think of, not games, the only two series I can really think of that I want to 100% complete are Kirby games and Mario games. But Mario games are less of an extent than Kirby. But, yeah, this game's amazing. And, you know, even for whatever, you know, it counts, you know, I got, at time recording, I have 29 subscribers, and I think I have like 35 follows on Twitter. I don't care. that it's a relatively small number. It's just great that I have you guys, the ones who are actually here with me, that stick around and watch my content. That really means a lot, that I have you guys. You know, it's, you know, instead of thinking like, oh, it's a small number, it's so sad, I should stop. No. Even getting one subscriber, getting one person to watch your stuff, that's amazing. Because, you know, you have someone who, it's nice to have someone who appreciates what you do. Even if it's just a small number, it feels so good. You know, it makes me want to keep going. You know. But, anyway. So, that's gonna cover it for this episode and for Super Mario Odyssey completely. I didn't start the intro to my video like I normally do, because, you know, this isn't a traditional video by any means. But, you know, I don't care if I date myself. I'm gonna, you know, this has been an amazing ride, and, you know, say whatever you want about 2017. It gave us Zelda, it gave us Mario, it gave us the Switch, it gave us so many good things, so many good games, so many good movies, you know, and it's been a really good year. So anyways, guys, that's gonna cover it for this episode, for this series. Thank you all so very much for watching, sticking around with me, and hope you all have a great year. This is Zelda Maniac 1994, signing out for Super Mario Odyssey in 2017. I'll see you all next year when this video comes out. Pretty much it'll be 2018. Alright guys, have a good one.